Hi guys, hope all of you are doing well and are safely locked up in home. We are too, and that's why I'm getting time to do all these videos. Today I'm going to be making keto sesame sticks or keto sesame crackers. I had two things to explain. You would have seen me do a lot of keto videos, so I'll quickly, for those who don't know keto, I'll explain what keto is. It's a diet slash lifestyle where you go low on carbs, but at the same time, go very high on fats. It's an excellent way of, not only losing weight, but bringing a lot of parameters of your health under control. And those could mean, reversing diabetes, reversing high blood pressure conditions, curing sleep apnea. I personally have, benefited benefited in multiple different things. Keto has helped me lose over 50 pounds and just in a matter of 6 months. So I highly recommend trying the keto lifestyle. I won't call it a diet; it's more of a lifestyle. And as I do more of keto, there's substitute we tend to find for our favorite foods, and my attempt is to create those substitutes and help others who are trying to do keto enjoy those substitutes. So sesame seed sticks or sesame seed crackers are my personal favorite. So today's recipe is sesame seed crackers. So today's recipe is totally experimental. I have never made these before. I'm using my judgment to put together the ingredients. There are some recipes available on the internet, but I'm trying to do it slightly different, see how it turns out. And if at all this video goes up online, it means I was successful. So let's do it. So I'll start off by showing you the ingredients. I'm going to use almond flour. I'm going to use flaxseed meal. I'm going to use sesame seeds, of course. My two favorite spices, if you've not realized by now: garlic powder, onion powder. We're going to need 1 egg. I'm going to add tahini. Tahini is nothing but sesame seed butter. It gives an amazing flavor and amazing taste to recipes that call for using sesame seeds. This is something that no other recipe has, so I'm going to try it out and I'll let you know how it goes. So to a bowl, I've added all the dry ingredients. It's a 1/4 cup of almond flour, 1/4 cup of flaxseed. Flaxseed meal or flax is extremely healthy for you. Try to incorporate it in your foods as much as possible. It's extremely high in omega-3 fatty acids, so it's very good for your heart health. I also have added sesame seeds. Since I'm going to add tahini, I've just added about 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds. I've also gone ahead and added some everything bagel seasoning just for that extra taste. Feel free to experiment with the seasoning and spices that you use in your recipes. I'm going to whisk all of this together so the dry ingredients are well incorporated, and then we're going to add in the wet ingredients. So for the wet ingredients, I have I've added 1 egg, and I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of tahini. Tahini is it's like it has a buttery consistency, but it has a lot of oil. So I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons, mix it all up and see if we need more liquid or water, and adjust the consistency so that a good dough forms. In the meanwhile, I've also heated my oven to 375 Fahrenheit to get it ready to bake these crackers. And I'm just making a small batch because I'm obviously experimenting with it. Mix it very well so that everything is well incorporated. I'll come back when this is ready. As I was mixing it, I realized I forgot one very important ingredient, that's Parmesan cheese. So I'm going to add about a quarter cup of Parmesan cheese to this. You add cheese in these recipes because it helps things get crunchy and also, you know, helps bind everything together. You can even try this, just scoop out some spoons of Parmesan cheese onto a baking sheet and bake them for 5 minutes, and you'll have excellent Parmesan cheese crackers. I think I'm going to use a fork to mix it all together. The dough is getting very pasty, and just to make sure everything is incorporated well, I'll use a fork and keep mixing all of this together. Once this is done, while doing this, just remember to, you know, slightly taste it. I know it's got egg in it, but raw egg, but taste it for salt, and you can adjust the salt accordingly. Even if it is a bit off, that's okay. You can always season it externally. So we're almost done here, and I'll take you to the next step. Dough is almost done. I'll leave it to rest for about 5 to 8 minutes so that the binding agents all stabilize. Guys, one thing, you don't necessarily have to make it if you're doing keto. It's going to turn out super amazing and super yummy irrespectively. So please go ahead and try this recipes. One more thing, if you want to know my journey and my keto transformation, do leave me a comment and I'll make a video about it. Thank you. So as I kind of anticipated, because of the tahini, the dough has become very sticky. It's not so sticky, but to make it workable, I'm going to spray it with some food spray. I use avocado oil, extremely good for the health, and just coat it all over so that working this dough is not so messy. What I've also done is I've laid out my baking sheet. You can even use I have a baking grade and a baking sheet over it. You can also use parchment paper. I'm going to spray it with oil, and then I'm going to work to flatten the dough out. The thickness of this should be about the thickness of the crackers that you want to make. I'll remove this for now. It depends on, you know, personal choices. So go ahead and flatten it to your liking. I could also, you know, kind of put another parchment paper on it and roll this out, but kind of I'm lazy today. I'm just going to use my spatula. You can make this in two forms. You can either do crackers and cut them in shape of crackers, or do sesame sticks. I personally like sesame sticks, so I'm going to cut them in the form of sesame sticks. I'm going to use a pizza cutter to do this. If you like them like crackers, shape them like crackers. You can even use a pizza cutter to shape them like sesame sticks. And they'll be ready to go in the oven just about when we're done cutting. oops, and some horizontally. I think this is good enough. I'm going to lay it on the baking grid, and this goes into the oven for about 8 minutes, and then we'll have a look and see if it needs more cooking from there. So guys, it's been 8 minutes already, but I just checked. I'm going to let it go for another 5 minutes or so. See you then. So guys, I've taken them out of the oven. You see they're still sizzling. Oops, there's some oil falling over. So I'm just going to leave them down here and let them cool down and crisp out. I think it will take about 20 minutes to half an hour. I'm too tempted to dig in and have a bite, but I'll have to wait. I'm going to wait for this, separate this out into sticks or crackers, whatever form these are, and I'll show you how it looks like. So guys, we are done with the sesame crackers. These have cooled down, and as you can hear, they've kind of crisped out. These are tasting really amazing. Even my wife loved it. I would just do two things to do them differently next time. One, up the cheese. Maybe instead of 1/4, 1/3 cup of parmesan cheese. And second is, instead of making one batch, I would make two, because of the wider surface, the ones in the middle didn't really crisp out as much. So I would make them in two batches, or lay down maybe 2 areas of dough. Otherwise, these have turned out fantastic. Nothing, I think this tahini thing worked out perfectly. They have an amazing sesame flavor. So do try these out, and do like and subscribe. Thank you so much.